You broke his arm? Those were the first words out of my wife's mouth when I stepped through the door. No, hello. No, how was your day? Just pure, unfiltered rage. Her voice shook the walls. Her blonde curls bounced as she stomped toward me, eyes full of fire. I blinked, not because I was surprised, but because she had the audacity to be mad. You humiliated him, she shouted. Do you even understand what you've done? I dropped my gym bag. Slowly, deliberately. Rachel, I said coldly, I know exactly what I did. Jared won't be sleeping with any more married women, at least not with both hands. Her face twisted like I'd slapped her. That's when it hit me. She wasn't mad that I assaulted my boss. She was mad because I ruined her secret fun. Let me rewind briefly. An hour earlier, I walked into Jared's office. Closed the door. No words. Just a punch. Then another. And one more until I felt the bones shift under my knuckles. He squealed like a rat, pathetic. I told him, next time you sleep with someone's wife, make sure her husband doesn't work in your building. Now here I was, standing in my own home, being screamed at by the same woman who betrayed me in our bed, our kitchen, even our car. And instead of remorse, she was defending him. You could go to jail, she cried. He's going to press charges. I shrugged. He can try. I've got enough dirt on him to bury him twice. Rachel clenched her fists. You're such a child, Ethan. You couldn't handle that I needed more. You never paid attention to what I wanted. I laughed bitterly. You wanted attention? Then go ask your lovers. Maybe Kyle? Or Derek? Or that bartender from Bellis? Her eyes went wide. Ah, so she didn't know I knew everything yet. Game on. Her eyes flickered. I knew that look. A split second of panic before she composed herself. Rachel had always been good at lying, so good she probably believed her own garbage half the time. But right now, she was cornered, and the mask was slipping. What are you even talking about? She snapped. Kyle? Derek? You're insane. I took a slow step forward, pulled my phone out of my pocket, and tapped the screen. One by one, pictures filled the display. Rachel, in too little clothing, wrapped around too many men in too many different locations. I found your flash drive, I said calmly. Nice trophy collection. Her jaw clenched, but still no denial. Just more venom. So you went through my things? That's pathetic, Ethan. I laughed, sharp and cold. No, Rachel. What's pathetic is recording your affairs and then leaving the evidence lying around like a damn highlight reel. She stormed toward me, hands waving, voice shrill. You don't get it. You were never present. You never made me feel like a woman. That word hit me like a brick. Never made me feel like a woman. I worked 60-hour weeks to pay for your car, your stupid yoga retreats, and your Botox injections, I growled. While you were busy feeling like a woman with bartenders and hotel bathrooms. She froze for a second, then said the single most arrogant sentence I'd ever heard from her lips. I deserve more than what you gave me. That was it. I walked past her, straight into our bedroom, pulled out the suitcase from the closet, and started throwing clothes in it. She stood at the door, watching, arms crossed like this was just another fight we'd sweep under the rug. Where do you think you're going? She asked. I didn't answer at first. Just zipped the suitcase, turned to face her, and smiled. To peace. She laughed. You think it's that easy? You think you can just walk away? Oh, I'm not walking, I said. I'm running. I wasted 7 years thinking you were my partner. Turns out, I was just your financial support system while you acted like a spoiled teenager. You don't even care what drove me to it, she hissed. No, I said, because nothing justifies betrayal. She stepped forward, trying one last move, the fake tears. Ethan, please, let's talk about this. I made mistakes, okay? But you're not perfect either. Maybe if we just... I raised a hand. Don't insult me with tears you practiced in the mirror. For a moment, the mask cracked again. Her face went blank. Cold. Calculating. And then, out of nowhere, she smiled. You're not going to leave, she said confidently. You've got no proof in court. I'll take the house. I'll take everything. And I'll tell everyone you hit my boss out of jealousy. I nodded slowly. You might want to check your email. What? I sent the videos to myself, to a lawyer, and to Jared's wife. Boom. That wiped the smirk off her face. She stood there speechless. For once. And I just walked past her with my bag. You humiliated me, she whispered as I reached the door. I looked over my shoulder. No, Rachel. You did that all on your own. I just made sure your audience grew. Then I stepped outside, breathing in the night air like it was the first real breath I'd taken in years. And for the first time in a long, long while, I smiled. The night air was crisp, and for the first time in forever, it didn't suffocate me. I threw my suitcase into the trunk of my car, slammed it shut, and sat in the driver's seat, hands gripping the wheel. I didn't drive. Not yet. I just sat there, processing. You think you'll scream when it happens. You think you'll break things, cry, maybe even beg. But when the betrayal is this deep, you don't feel rage first. You feel numb. Like your mind's trying to buffer through a trauma it can't quite load. Rachel, my wife, the woman I met in college, who once cried when I surprised her with a cheap necklace, just admitted to sleeping around like it was cardio. And then she had the balls to threaten me with court, reputation, and everything in between. Well, that. Nice Ethan? The guy who let things slide, avoided conflict, and believed in second chances? He was gone. Left back there in that house along with the monogram towels and fake memories. I turned the key. The engine roared to life. So did I. First stop, my buddy Chris's place. We hadn't talked much lately, married life, career, responsibilities. But if there was one person I could count on in a storm, it was him. I pulled into his driveway around midnight. Texted him, I'm outside. Need a place. SHD went nuclear. Asterisk. Door opened in under a minute. Jesus, man, Chris muttered when he saw my face. You look like you walked through a war zone. I did, I said, brushing past him. He handed me a beer before I even sat down. Talk. So I told him everything. Jared. The flash drive. The names. The threats. Her smile. He didn't interrupt once. When I was done, he sat back, shaking his head. That's not a woman, bro. That's a walking red flag wrapped in makeup and entitlement. Yeah, well, I married her. Everyone makes mistakes. Yours just came with mascara and a body count. We both laughed, dark humor, the only kind that made sense now. You gonna go through with it? He asked. Divorce? Hell yes. Already called a lawyer. He's reviewing the footage. Jared's wife knows. Apparently, it wasn't the first time he's done this either. She's lawyering up too. Chris leaned back. So you're about to blow up 2 marriages at once? I smiled for real this time. Collateral damage. Damn. Didn't know you had it in you. Neither did I. We sat in silence for a while, sipping beer. The numbness started to fade. It was being replaced by something hotter. Not anger. Not grief. Clarity. Rachel thought she knew me. Thought I'd crawl back, beg for forgiveness, swallow her lies like pills. But she forgot something. I don't lose. I adapt. And now, I was going to burn her world down. Legally. Logically. Completely. The next morning, I made moves. Bank accounts? Frozen. Joint credit cards? Canceled. Our smart home system? Disabled. She'd have to call tech support just to turn on the lights. My lawyer? Scheduled a consultation with a private investigator, just in case she tried to hide assets or lie under oath. I wasn't playing defense anymore. And the best part? Rachel had no clue what was coming. She probably spent the night rehearsing fake tears for the courtroom, thinking she could spin this in her favor. But while she was busy scripting her next manipulation, I was building a case with timestamps, footage, and more receipts than a Black Friday shopper. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. And it had just begun. 3 days passed. Rachel hadn't called. Not once. No apology. No explanation. No sudden moment of remorse. And that told me everything I needed to know. She thought she still had the upper hand. I sat in Chris's guest room, laptop open, my lawyer on video chat. His name was Victor Reynolds, shark in a suit, recommended by a friend from college. The guy once got a woman full custody, 3 properties, and the dog despite having no job and a DUI. Exactly the kind of monster I needed. You've got solid ground, Ethan, Victor said as he skimmed through the folder I sent. The footage is damning. Multiple men. Multiple locations. Timestamped. You also have financial records? I nodded. Every transaction. I tracked the gifts, hotel stays, Uber rides. She used our joint account. He grinned. Excellent. We'll file for divorce under adultery, emotional distress, and financial exploitation. I can make sure she walks away with nothing but bad memories. A weight lifted from my chest. This wasn't just about punishment. It was about taking control. About making sure Rachel never destroyed another man the way she tried to destroy me. I want the house, I said. She can rot somewhere else. Victor nodded. We'll bury her. I ended the call, energized. And then, right on cue, my phone buzzed. Rachel. I stared at her name, debating, then answered. She didn't even wait for me to speak. I talked to a lawyer. My grip tightened. So did I. Her voice had that forced calm, like a crocodile pretending to be a house pet. Look, Ethan, maybe we got carried away. Maybe we both made mistakes. Oh, now it was we? You cheated, Rachel. Multiple times. I punched one guy. Pretty sure there's a difference. She sighed. You're being dramatic. I laughed. Says the woman who recorded herself with half the city. I can make this really ugly, Ethan. There it was. The threat. Her comfort zone. Already is, I said. But here's the thing, you picked the wrong man to screw over. She paused, probably confused that I wasn't begging. Then she changed tactics. I'm sorry, okay? I was lonely. You were always working. I didn't know how to talk to you. No, I cut her off. You didn't want to talk. You wanted a thrill. So you created chaos and called it love. Can't we talk in person? She asked, voice suddenly small. I knew that trick. She wanted a scene. Wanted me to yell, cry, beg, anything to flip the narrative. No, I said. We'll talk in court. I hung up. That night, Chris and I grabbed dinner at a bar downtown. He could tell something shifted. You're not just surviving anymore, he said. You're fighting back. Damn right, I replied. I'm done being the nice guy. Just as I raised my glass to take a sip, my phone lit up again, this time with a message. From a number I didn't recognize. Hey, I thought you should know. Rachel told everyone you hit her, not Jared. She's spinning it hard. I stared at the message. Who's it from? Chris asked. I showed him. He whistled. She's already playing the victim. The next text came seconds later. I'm Jared's wife, and I want to talk. I called the number. No texts. No delays. Just straight up called. She answered after 2 rings. Hello. Her voice was calm. Measured. Tired. This is Ethan. I figured. I'm Madison, she said, with that hollow edge you only get after weeks of crying. We need to talk. Privately. About what? She hesitated. Your wife. My husband. And the hell they created behind our backs. 10 minutes later, we met at a small cafe on the edge of town. Public place, neutral ground. She sat near the window, hands wrapped tightly around her coffee cup like she was afraid it might run away. She was beautiful in a way that didn't try. No makeup, hoodie, jeans, raw and real. The opposite of Rachel's curated Barbie doll appearance. I sat across from her. We didn't say anything at first. She slid a folder across the table. I opened it. More photos. Rachel and Jared. Different locations. Dates that matched the ones on my calendar when she claimed she was at book club or yoga. She pointed at one. This one? That was our anniversary. I clenched my jaw. I confronted Jared the night you broke his arm, she said. He admitted everything. Not just Rachel. There were others, too. Coworkers. Assistants. Even one of his interns. He's been doing this for years. My stomach twisted. And she knew. She planned some of them. Messaged the women. Arranged things. The words hit me like a sledgehammer. Planned. Messaged. Arranged. Rachel wasn't just cheating. She was enjoying the game. Madison leaned in. She told Jared she liked humiliating you. Said you were boring, too soft. That she wanted a real man to take control of her life. I nearly crushed the coffee cup in my hand. She also said you'd never leave. That you'd crawl back no matter what. I let out a long breath. She's in for a surprise. Madison gave a tired smile. That's why I'm here. I'm not just trying to divorce Jared. I want to bury both of them. I raised an eyebrow. You mean legally? Oh, I mean publicly. She pulled out a flash drive. What's this? Everything. Their texts. The private messages. The calls. Jared was an idiot. He synced everything to our iCloud. She sent him voice notes, Ethan. Videos. Photos. I took the drive. And you're just handing this to me? I want people to see who they really are, she said. And I think you do, too. My brain raced. This could cost Jared his job. His reputation. Maybe even charges, depending on who those other women were. I'm counting on it, she said coldly. I slid the flash drive into my pocket. You sure you're okay with all this going public? She looked me dead in the eye. My marriage is dead. My self-respect won't be. As we stood up to leave, she added, oh, and one more thing, Rachel told Jared she might be pregnant. I froze. What? She said she's late. I don't know if she's bluffing or if she's trying to trap you into staying. My mind spun. A baby? No? After all this? No. Hell no. Not this time. Thanks, I said, voice tight. She nodded. Let's both make sure they get what they deserve. Back in the car, I sat with my thoughts boiling. Rachel thought she was playing chess, but she didn't realize I'd already flipped the board. And this time, I wasn't just aiming to win. I was going to ruin her. I didn't sleep that night. The thought of Rachel being pregnant gnawed at my mind like termites inside a rotting house. Was she bluffing? Or was this part of her next move, a last desperate hand to force me into staying? The next morning, I drove back to the house. Not to reconcile. Not to talk. I came for proof. I still had a key. The place felt colder, emptier, like it knew I didn't belong there anymore. Rachel was in the kitchen, scrolling her phone like nothing had happened. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, sipping almond milk from a wine glass like the diva she was. She didn't flinch when she saw me. Well, she said with fake sweetness. Did you forget something? Or did your spine grow back overnight? I ignored the jab and got straight to it. Are you pregnant? She paused for just a second. Just one beat. But I saw it, that glitch in her expression. Then came the smirk. What if I am? She purred. I clenched my fists. Is it mine? She tilted her head, amused. Why are you so angry, Ethan? You wanted kids, remember? Maybe this is a blessing. No, this is a manipulation. She laughed. You're so dramatic. Always have been. Maybe if you were this assertive in bed, I wouldn't have had to go looking elsewhere. My blood boiled. Is it mine? I asked again. She shrugged. Could be yours. Could be Jared's. Maybe Kyle's. Guess we'll never know. I stepped closer. Then you'll be taking a paternity test. Her smile faltered. You can't make me. I pulled out my phone and started recording. Say that again? She backed off instantly. Fine. Do your stupid test. But don't expect me to cooperate if you keep threatening me. I looked around the house, the marble countertops, the art on the walls, the photos that used to mean something. Now it all felt like props in a play. Her play. You don't get to rewrite this story, Rachel. You lied. You cheated. You weaponized everything I gave you. And now you're trying to trap me with a baby you don't even know the father of. She didn't say anything. I turned to leave. Oh, she called after me. I already told my friends you hit me. You're going to look really bad when this goes to court. I stopped in the doorway. Smiled. Yeah? Then I hope your friends enjoy the full collection of your hotel escapades, because I just posted one of them to a Dropbox link. Public. Unfiltered. Timestamped. Her face went white. You wouldn't. I already did. Her composure cracked. She lunged toward me, trying to grab the phone out of my hand, but I stepped back. You brought this on yourself, Rachel. Every lie. Every betrayal. You thought you were untouchable, but you forgot one thing. What? You married a man who knows how to fight clean and dirty. She froze. I walked out again, this time knowing it would be the last. Later that day, I sent the video link to a few concerned friends Rachel had poisoned against me. The kind who loved gossip but hated hypocrisy. Within hours, my phone blew up. Dude, I'm so sorry. She made it sound like you were the villain. Just saw the video. What the hell is wrong with her? Are you okay? Rachel's image collapsed in real time. And the best part? She did it to herself. Next stop, the paternity test and finalizing the divorce papers. Victor said we had everything we needed to crush her in court. And if she was pregnant? God help whoever the father really was. Because I sure as hell wasn't going to be a part of her circus act any longer. 3 days later, I got the call. The paternity test was back. Not mine. I stared at the results, reading them over and over like maybe the letters would change. But they didn't. The conclusion was clear, stamped in clinical coldness. Probability of paternity, 0%. Relief and rage collided inside me. She really did it. She tried to pin someone else's baby on me, to trap me, to chain me to her train wreck of a life, hoping I'd be too stupid or too soft to question it. I sent the results straight to Victor, my lawyer. He called me 5 minutes later, half laughing, half shocked. She's going to lose everything, Ethan. We'll prove fraud, intentional emotional manipulation, and financial exploitation. With this, you could sue for damages if you want. But I didn't want money anymore. I wanted freedom. And I wanted everyone to know exactly who Rachel really was. I uploaded one final video to the Dropbox link, audio this time. Her voice. Clear. Confident. Laughing. If Ethan ever finds out I'm pregnant, and it's not his, I'll just tell him it is. He's too soft to question it. Within an hour, the link spread like wildfire. People messaged me nonstop. Friends, coworkers, even people I hadn't heard from in years. Rachel's name became toxic overnight. Jared lost his job the next morning, HR launching an internal investigation. Madison had pulled every legal string possible, and his career was now dangling by threads. Rachel tried to call me 12 times. I didn't answer. The 13th time, I picked up. Ethan, please. I can explain. You had months to explain. I didn't know how. I panicked. I was scared. Of what? Losing me? Or losing control? Silence. Then she tried tears. I miss you. I miss us. You were my best friend. I almost laughed. You don't miss me. You miss what I gave you. Comfort. Security. Protection from the consequences of your own behavior. Don't do this, Ethan. Please. We can fix it. I'm getting therapy, I swear. I was broken. No. I cut her off. You were cruel. You were calculated. Broken people cry for help. You used your pain as a weapon. Another pause. Then came the desperation. I'm sorry, okay. I messed up. But we had good times too, didn't we? Yeah, I said, voice flat. But they don't cancel out the wreckage. She started to sob. I'm losing everything, she choked out. The house, my reputation, my friends. Everyone's turning on me. I let her cry. Let her feel the storm she created. You know what hurts the most? I asked. She sniffled. I didn't leave because you cheated. I left because you enjoyed it. Because you looked me in the eye and smirked when you told me. She didn't say anything. I hung up. That was the last time I heard her voice. A week later, the divorce was finalized. I kept the house, the savings, and even the dog. She didn't contest it. She couldn't. Victor had the legal arsenal of a warlord, and she knew she'd be lucky to walk away with a toothbrush. Madison and I met for coffee again. She smiled when I told her about the paternity test. Not surprised, she said. She was never as smart as she thought. We clinked our mugs like two survivors of the same explosion. Not lovers. Not partners. Just people who understood what it felt like to be betrayed and finally rise. Rachel? Last I heard, she moved in with her sister across state lines, unemployed and pregnant with a man who didn't want her either. Karma's got a brutal sense of humor. I stood in my backyard, morning sun spilling over the fence, coffee steaming in my hands. The air was quiet, fresh, peaceful, something I hadn't felt in years. The papers were signed. The storm was over. And Rachel? She was nothing more than a cautionary tale, a name that used to hold weight in my life, now just background noise in a story that no longer belonged to her. I hadn't just survived her betrayal. I thrived through it. After the final court hearing, Victor patted me on the back and said, "You just set the gold standard for how to legally dismantle a narcissist." I smiled, but it wasn't about victory. Not anymore. It was about clarity. See, when someone cheats, they don't just break your heart. They make you question your worth, your instincts, your entire perception of reality. And that's the most dangerous part, not the infidelity, but the slow erosion of your identity. Rachel didn't just betray me. She tried to erase me, but she failed. The final humiliation came not from me, but from life itself. One of her former flings went public. Jared's replacement at the company, a woman with zero tolerance for bullshit, leaked internal complaints showing that Rachel had been blacklisted from every corporate contract in our area. No firm wanted the homewrecker who blackmailed her way through boardrooms. She tried to start over online. New name, new brand, some half-baked podcast about empowerment. It flopped. No one wanted life advice from a woman whose idea of personal growth was cheating on her husband and faking a pregnancy. Meanwhile, I'd begun something new. No, not a new relationship. Not yet. Just me. I picked up old hobbies I'd buried during marriage. Boxing, photography, camping. I reconnected with people who had quietly distanced themselves while Rachel dominated every room. Turns out, I hadn't been alone all this time. I'd just been isolated. People saw. They just didn't know how to say it. One night, months after everything ended, I got a message from Rachel's younger cousin, Tara. I just wanted to say, "I'm sorry. We all saw how she treated you. We were scared to speak up. You deserved better." That meant more than she knew. Because silence is a kind of betrayal too. And breaking that silence? That's the first crack in the prison of someone else's control. I replied, simply, "Thanks. I'm doing better now." And I was. Not because I got revenge. Not because I won. But because I chose myself. That's what most people forget when they go through betrayal. They think closure comes from confronting the cheater, or exposing the truth, or making them pay. But it doesn't. Closure comes the moment you stop needing any of that. It comes when you wake up, take a deep breath, and realize their poison no longer lives in your bloodstream. So, what I say to anyone going through what I did, don't chase apologies. Don't wait for regret. Don't settle for someone who makes you question your reality. When someone shows you their soul is rotten, don't try to purify it. Leave the building. You don't fix a bomb after it explodes. You rebuild. Smarter, stronger, sharper. And if they ever come crawling back, let them knock. But never open that door. Let them stand on the outside, watching the life they destroyed continue without them. Because that, more than any revenge, is the real ending they never saw coming.